Hello, friend. Welcome to Convos for A Bubbly Life. I'm your host, Tiara, aka T, and I love to live a life that is bubbly, meaning an extraordinary life by your own design. On this podcast, we explore the journey of creating the life of our desires. So let's get to it. What's going on? You know, like the song goes, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? I don't know what's going on. But I know change is coming. I am feeling it in my body and my experience of the world around me. I am seeing so many things. Like I was literally sent yesterday a Instagram reel of a woman talking about the I don't know, it was something very sciencey about, I think, electromagnetic field of the world and how it used to kind of look like just a bunch of lines, and now it's like sacred geometry. And while I don't practice a whole lot of sacred geometry in my own personal life, I know it means something. Like, whoa, that's pretty awesome. And I sent it to my mentor, and they were like, I was like, I don't know what I need to do with this, but this is pretty awesome and really looks really cool. And she was like, I don't think we need to do anything with this, but just know that it feels very supportive to where we're going. And I was like, cool, bet, awesome. It makes it easier for me to not have to do anything. Because that is, you know, the softness of life, right? I don't have to do anything. That is the goal. That is, let me rephrase, the finding the flow and the ease of life is what I am cultivating. So, not having to do is what's going on. There you go. We figured it out. What's going on? That being said, I have been noticing and the exploration of cultivating more softness, of cultivating the more ease rather than like do, I have recognized within myself that it is kind of like I have a habit of not just being. You know, even in meditation, like I'll go into meditation lately, and like the amount of time between like the silence and a thought has shortened for me. Like it has become so apparent that like I'm like, okay, I've set my intention. You know, I would love to hear more. I want messaging on how to better have softness, or how to, you know, send me like asking for information on where to go next with my business so we can grow and expand and get to the place of being financially free through my business and you know, asking for this information. And then when I get into a place of like, all right, let's calm the mind so we can receive, I'm just like, my brain's just go. And I'm like, is this downloads, or is this me just like rolling off, like, you know, not even allowing for space? And while it is totally, you know, cool if it is like, you know, just information coming in fast, because I do believe that like you don't need to like spend 47 hours, and I don't know why 47 was the number, but 47 hours in meditation to get to receive a message. Like I do believe that we can process super quickly, and I have been through so many programs and so many things throughout my life that I feel like the information is already within me. So instantaneous response is not unheard of. That being said, it's just like, sometimes I'm just like, I just need to be, right? Like there's nothing wrong with the information coming up. And maybe that's the thing, is like, I'm asking questions and I'm getting the answers, but maybe it's like, girl, can we just be? Because a part of, you know, what I have brought in and the messages I've received is just like showing up as yourself, you know, just being. There's no like, niche is the word that's coming up, but that's not the word. Like there is no like tactic, if you will. Strategy, I do believe in business is important. Like, you know, sitting in meditation does not make a business happen, right? We do have to take action, right? So it's like, you know, creation is where intention and action meet. And so it's like, all right, cool. Like I'm so action oriented, and, you know, I can choose a very specific intention, But, and it's a big but. No, I'm just kidding. Where is the peace, I guess, is that. And so I'm finding messages saying just be, or I'm hearing be authentic, show up as yourself, show yourself, don't do too much. Like literally my galactic reading was like, stop doing so much, stop working so hard, like be easeful. And to me, that reflects in the sense that I have a habit of like, okay, well, what did this person do to grow their business? What did this person do? Okay, like what is their, for lack of a better word, manipulation, right? What is their like, how are they grabbing the attention of other people? And this says to me that, going back to the beginning of what's going on, we're shifting, right? This society is shifting. We're coming to a place where, like, I don't know about you, but when I am like thinking about my life and I'm like, whose idea was it that we have to like pay bills? Like who created this system? I feel like the system is for the birds. Adulting is dumb. Like, and I'm seeing it and people joke about it all the time on social media of like, okay, like I should be just sitting by the beach eating grapes all day. I should be like sipping some champagne and like I should not have to work so hard. And I think so many people, like, it starts off as a joke, but like there is truth to that. We're like the only species out here grinding. Everybody else is going with nature, going with the flow, like enjoying stuff. And, people, you could say, well, we're the top of the food chain and we're like intellectual, but I don't know how intellectual we are when we make our lives harder for ourselves. Right? Like, where is the alignment between creating technology and creating these beautiful things that are supposedly making life easier against the like having to create more grind and having to create more accolades and more accomplishments and more things that we have to go and do for to have some sort sense of like success and growth or whatever in our lives. I think that we are reaching this cusp of like people being like, I'm fucking tired. I'm tired of this rigmarole. I'm tired of like all of this bullshit. Cause it feels like bullshit. Like, I don't know. So often, and maybe that's just my algorithm, but so often I pull up, on social media, whether it's like Instagram, TikTok, whatever, some reel is showing like, somebody hating their job or like how they're creating boundaries at their job or how they're doing whatever. And they are only doing this because this is how, we are set up. We are set up in a way, and our society is set up in a way that we have to make money to experience certain things, right? We don't have to make money. Like I live in LA and I see plenty of people on the streets. And while some are having like, mental issues and there is a reason outside of like pure choice, for their experience, there are also people that are, having a generator and living in a tent and whatever. And I'm like, you know what? They chose like an easier, in a way, I feel like it's an easier, less pressure life. And I'm trying to figure out where is that within the daily luxuries of life that I've become accustomed to. Right? Like, I mean, in theory, I could technically make it work by and figure out how to like live in a tent or in like some old van on the beach and whatever, but like that's not the life I want for myself. So we're like, I'm like, where are we finding that ease, that flow, that space of creating within this society that we're in, as society is shifting and changing and coming to the realization that like, something's got to give, economies are breaking down, like things are happening in the outskirts. And I really could care less about the news. Like, let's be real. Like, I don't give a crap about it. It does not bring me joy. It does not, it makes me kind of like, I I don't know, itchy. Like I remember growing up, and I think it's kind of funny because I am a communications major, or I was a communications major. I studied electronic and print journalism. I understand, if it bleeds, it leads, and the idea of how the media is it kind of like shows up to, in a way, I mean, like manipulate is the word, and I think we can take the negativity out of it, but like it's because it's all like psychological, right? So whether it is sales or whatever, like there is a psychological understanding of how people operate and what is going to bring people back, right? And so people have a thought that like we need to be informed, and I think we do. It is important to be informed and understand what is happening in the world around us so that we understand how it impacts us individually, but also understand that sometimes things are happening at a level that the trickle down effect is not going to hit me for like another 70 years. So like, I think it's important to understand how it's going to impact me and my community, and if it does not even have an impact on me and my community, right? And so like sometimes I'll have someone tell me a news story and I'm like, oh, that's sad and that's tragic, and I'm really, really sorry that happened to this one specific person. And, maybe they got bit by a shark or whatever, and I'm like, oh, that really sucks. And then so I guess the idea that I'm being passed on is that I should never get back in the ocean because somehow, somewhere, someone got bit by a shark. But like, we can apply that to anything. Someone got in a car accident. The 405 probably has like 87 of them on there right now. Like, but I'm still going to drive my car. So maybe I don't drive it as often because I don't care to drive things, but like if I want to go somewhere that is not like in a reasonable space for walking, guess what? I'm going to drive or get an Uber or, whatever. So I'm not going to stop living because there's an opportunity for something like sad or tragic to happen. I'm going to keep living because there's also the opportunity for something extraordinary to be experienced. And so going back to the news, it's just like, I feel like sometimes there's like a fear mongering that happens with it, but then they always tie it off with a nice little bow so that, you can feel a little bit uplifted and are more likely to come back. Like literally that was something that was taught to me in class, was like, all right, so if it bleeds, it leads, you do this to get their attention. And then, you tell whatever stories and like, end with a fluff piece so people don't think humanity is like dead and like they'll show up tomorrow. Like, it probably wasn't put in exactly those terms, but that's basically how the conversation happened. And I'm looking at life and I'm looking at the world and I'm seeing and I'm feeling like there are a lot of people that are just shifting, changing. They're choosing not to operate in the paradigm, or at least not operate in the same ways. And I feel like while a big shift is not going to happen like immediately, over time, something is going to give. People are going to find ways to break or reconfigure the system so that we get back to kind of like a natural state, the natural state of being able to flow with nature, being able to wake up with the sun and go to bed. Like during the summer, we stay up way later because and more. We have more time to do things because there's more sun. But in the wintertime, that's time to cozy up and hibernate, if you will, and get back to this like rhythm of doing just that. And so I am seeing and feeling into this state. And I looked at I have candles, and I love working with candles to set intentions. And one of the things that I notice and in candles is that like once they burn out, you can look at them and see like, what, maybe get some information from it. So with that, like if you're lighting a candle in your living room for it to smell good or whatever, that's great. I think it's important if you are trying to like do intention candles, magic candles, however you want to see it, that it is specific for one intention. And then when you're done, you can get that information. If like that's what you're looking to do, is to get some information from the candle, you have to like, you can't just have like 87 things like, all right, with this candle, I'm going to get a boyfriend, No, individual. I tried it in the past and then everything is like muddled. So like one specific intention per candle. And you can get like little cheap ones like grocery outlet, or at least my grocery outlet has like the little, they're, I would say like 7-day candles. Sometimes they have like depictions of religious figures on them, but you can also get some. I found them where there's like no sticker on it. It's just like a plain like white candle. White is great to use for any intention. If there are colors, like you can associate to whatever color you want. Like maybe red is for love. Maybe you want to use a green if you find a green one for money, like whatever. But you set this intention. And then when you look at the candle, you can look at the wax and how some of it might stay on the side of the glass. You can look if maybe you put some herb in there, like how the herb burnt. Is there any sort of images that come to mind? Anything when you're like looking once it's done. You can also look at the flame as it's burning. Like, is it burning like super big flame, like super hot or whatever? Is it like very, very smoldering, and see how you feel about it, right? So that being said, I burnt 3 different candles, and 2 of the 3 were like came out very clean, and there was, not a whole lot like I could pick from the other ones. Like I felt like, okay, cool, the work is done, is kind of what I said. Like, everything is showing up as it should, like the work is done. But I had a money candle. And I looked at it, and while the other ones, like I said, the other ones were clean, there was a lot of soot on this candle. And to me, it kind of resonated with the fact that like there are some belief structures around money that I have not worked through. And I think, and it's very much tied to my business of like, there is still something within me that says that I can't make money. Like I have to trade the time for money. There's still something within me that does not see or cannot comprehend, and thus does not believe in how easily money can flow to me without having to, have a sugar daddy or, receive in some, like some sort of way, like whether it be a job or like conventional way, right? So I'm having, I guess, an issue in seeing where is the money gonna come from? Like I need some sort of like tactile thing. And so it's showing me, all right, Tiara, this is something that we need to work on, because while you can say the affirmation that money flows to me easily and effortlessly, money comes to me in extraordinary ways, money is always showing up for me, and I have so many great examples of how that shows up for me in my life, I also am like, WTF, right? Like, what the fuck? Like, there's still the program inside of me. Like, so I need to go into like my brain computer box and recode the like the trust in how money works and the money flows, and see that I can create for myself. And, like so often I see so many people in the world, or I've had many coaches and mentors, and I'm like, they have a business, and I'm over here trying to like, based off of like the programs that they have that I've seen, I'm like, well, how are they making? Like they said that they're making 6 figures, or they said they made $1 million, and I'm trying to crunch the numbers. And I'm like, all right, well, I joined their such and such program, but there was only like 7 of us in there. So if there's 7 of us and we all paid XYZ amount of money, that does not equal $1 million. So where is the other money coming from? And so like, that's what I'm trying to see. And so part of it is, and I love having these moments, and this is part of why I started this podcast, was the opportunity to explore and break down some of my own internal programming in hopes to inspire you guys to take a look at your own shit, whether if you want to or not. I don't care. But in this, so it's just like, well, one, I don't know if they're really making the amount of money that they say they're making. Two, I don't know all their streams of income. I don't know. Maybe they do. Maybe they are a millionaire and they have a trust fund. Maybe they do stocks. Maybe they have secret programs that they don't put out to the entire public. They have like exclusive people, I don't know, clients, or that's the word I'm looking for. They have exclusive clients that have like some sort of bespoke program for them because they're like high end, whatever. Who knows? I don't know their connections. So I don't know, but these are like there's so many possibilities and there's so many opportunities. And I just now came back to me that I had a mentor once say, you need to cut all the cords. Like you need to like just stop creating, this is how my money can show up for me. This is like specific ways for money to show up for you. You should just stop it and just create like an open funnel, an open tunnel, open whatever, like open all the roads, all the gates, like whatever. It's just like, rather than having like standing at like a crossroads and maybe there's like 8 branches of different streets. Like I'm seeing like in a cartoon, right? You know, you're at this like 9 million way stop sign and there's like all these different roads that you can go onto. And these are all the labels that I've given to like how money can show up for me. What if I just say, blow that shit up and I'm just standing in a meadow and anything and everything can just flow freely to me. And that is the space. So that's what I get from the candle, right? And so while the candle, I feel like so often, and I know for myself when it came to, working, with magic and tarot and whatever, it's like, it's not so much the thing that creates the magic. The magic is created from within ourselves. It does give us the opportunity to connect and bring forth some awareness that we may not be able to see, so we can bring our attention to it so we can do the work. It doesn't have to be do, but we can have acknowledge what's going on so that we can readjust, recalibrate, recode, and create further. So with that, I'm excited for this journey. I know the A Bubbly Life membership is just one of many ways that I can bring in financial flow, that I can create and cultivate the soft life for myself, where I can operate within this paradigm that we're in and the society that we're currently in to create flow for myself, while creating and cultivating the softer life and creating the space to exit the corporate world, if you will, and live and be able to live. And that is the just being. And so the insight is coming as show up as just being. Keep talking about the opportunity that we can all just be throughout lives, and point out where there are discrepancies in our world and what we do and how we think about ourselves and think and limit ourselves, because there does not need to be any limitations for what we can create and what we can experience. But it all comes from the awareness within ourselves of what we think is possible. So what is possible for you? What is extraordinary for you? Are you ready for a bubbly life? With that, make sure, if you haven't already, you can go to www.abubbly.life/luxury-living, sign up for the A Bubbly Life membership, where we are going to cultivate an extraordinary life for ourselves. It is a community. It is a safe space to share what your intentions are, to help grow and support one another in living extraordinary lives, help to workshop these extraordinary lives. It's going to be amazing. And, I can't even fathom the work that we can do in there. But it's a safe space at the end of the day. It is a nurturing space at the end of the day. And I'm also excited for the virtual happy hours that we're going to have to deeper connect, because that was something that I always missed in, programs, was the fact that a lot of my programs that I participated in were always, it was very much specifically focused on whatever the intention was of the program, which is great. I appreciated that. But the other people, unless we made a point to like, oh, like that person seems really cool, and like we reach out to each other on the side, the opportunity for that connection didn't necessarily happen. And so I'm really excited to hold space for people to truly connect with one another so that we can fully support and understand and trust and believe in each other, because I feel like in some of these spaces, we aren't comfortable really acknowledging where we want to go and what we want to do in the group setting, because we don't know one another. And I know for myself, I crave deeper connections. So that is something that I really want to cultivate in that space, is deeper connections, truer friendships, something real and tangible. And I'm excited to hold that space. So I invite you to check that out. We will be having public virtual happy hours until the A Bubbly Life membership is fully open in September. So look out for those. Make sure you're RSVP to those. If you're not ready for the membership, but you still want some like one-on-one time, there should be some like readings that you can book on the www.abubbly.life/luxury living page. So take a look. It's in a book reading. See what resonates with you. And remember, sharing is caring. And I love you so much. And I'll catch you on the next one. Mwah.